Hello, I'm Roland Horn, Technical Program Chairman for WGC 2015. This video is to help those who are reviewing papers with some instructions how to perform the reviews. First of all, before we begin, I'd like to make a comment. The reviews of the papers are not journal grade reviews. Our focus is to attempt to improve the papers and to help the authors make a good product. So let's talk about how to do that. So when you log into the WGC 2015 papers website, you will see that your reviewer tasks indicate the topic you're reviewing. You have already used this when you were reviewing abstracts. So you will notice now that the papers have started to come in. Those that where the papers have been received are now marked in yellow. So we can choose the papers which are allocated to you, which are shown on the left in pink. I'm going to choose a test paper right here. And when you click on that test paper, you'll see the edit functions. The edit functions are in three groups. First of all, at the top, we have the ability to download the paper either in PDF or doc form. Usually you'll work with a PDF to read the paper, but you may, if you wish to, download the doc file. For example, you can make a correction of a spelling mistake or make small changes to it and then upload after you've finished. Then there's a section for comments to the program committee and comments to the authors. The authors will not see any comments to the program committee, and typically we would not make comments to the author unless we want them to make revisions. And then down here at the bottom are the action items. Every paper will be given a numerical ranking from 1 to 10, where 10 is the highest. We also here can specify whether we want the author to make revisions, whether or not we want the formatting repaired. That's something not done by the author, but done by the program committee. And also, if the English needs editing, that's also something that's done by the program committee. So let's go through these one by one. The four outcomes are, first of all, that the paper is perfectly fine and we can just leave it as it is and accept it. The second outcome is that the paper is technically okay but needs some repair of the reformatting or the English. The third possibility is that there are some technical modifications you'd like to suggest that the author makes to improve the paper. And the fourth and probably uncommon outcome is that the paper is completely unsuitable. It's either very commercial or political, or it's not about geothermal at all. And in that case, we would reject the paper. So let's move to the first case, if the paper is perfectly okay. So in that particular case, after looking at the paper, I would make some comment that says that the paper is okay. I may also make some suggestion as to which subtopic it might be suitable for in a session. Then I'll give a ranking to the paper out of 10. I would make sure I don't ask the author to make revisions. And then at the bottom, and I'm not asking for formatting or English changes, and then at the bottom I would press submit. Okay, in the second case, where we don't ask the author to make any changes, the paper is technically okay, but we need some reformatting or English changes. So in this case, we should say that paper should be reformatted and why. So for example, if they did not follow the template. We don't say anything to the authors. We're not asking them to do this. We make sure we give it a ranking. We don't ask the author to make revisions, but here we're going to ask for the formatters to reformat this paper. And then after that, we would press submit. The same action is taken if we can also ask for English editing too at the same time. So either one is possible there. Okay, now the third possibility is we may wish the authors to make some kind of a technical change. For example, if their figures are not clear or you need some more explanation of something that they said, we may want them to actually send a revised paper. So in this particular case, we can say to the program committee Y that we'd like a revision request. We need to tell the authors what it is that we want them to do exactly. So we may tell them if figure 2 is too small, or explain table 3 more, something like that. Again, we will give it a ranking out of 10. In this case, we will specify that we do want the author to make revisions. It may also be that we want template changes or reformatting or English editing. Those are done by different people, but we request them at the same time, and then we click on Submit. Okay, then the fourth possibility, if the paper is completely unsuitable, if it's very commercial and doesn't belong in a technical program, then we will reject the paper. There isn't a box to reject the paper because we don't want it being rejected by mistake. So the function here is that you specify why the paper should be rejected and then send an email to the technical program asking for the paper to be rejected. So in this particular case, we should say why the paper should be rejected. That's very important. For example, if it's too commercial, make sure that we're not asking for the author to make revisions. We're not asking for formatting or editing, and we give the paper a rank. In this case, we'll give it obviously a very small number because it's unsuitable, and then we click on Submit Comments. So that's basically the steps of the process. Thank you very much for participating as a reviewer, and we look forward to seeing you at the Congress.